Welcome back to the class with the chapter Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nation. We had already seen in the previous views about the Macaulay's view. Macaulay said that India as an uncivilized country that need to be civilized. He felt that no branch of Eastern knowledge could be compared to what England had produced. And according to him, a single shelf of good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. He urged that the British government in India should stop wasting the public money in promoting the Oriental learning because it is of no practical use. He emphasized the need to teach in English language. That is why, because of his efforts, English Education Act of 1835 was introduced, which made teaching of English compulsory because, according to this, teaching of English could be a way of civilizing people, changing their taste, values, and culture. That is why English Act education was introduced. The main feature of that act was English was made the medium of instruction for higher education. The promotion of the Oriental institution were stopped like Calcutta Madrasa and Banaras Sanskrit College. Then education should be in such a way that it gives some benefit to the commerce also. It should be economically beneficial. That is why in the year 1854, the Court of Director of the East India Company in London sent an educational dispatch to the Governor General in India. It was issued by Charles Wood, the President of the Board of Control of the company. That is why popularly it is known as Wood's Dispatch. Then Charles Wood, as the president of the board of control, he did a great job in spreading education in India when in 1854 he sent a dispatch. The main points of this dispatch was that an education department has to be set up in every province. Universities on the model of the London University be established in big cities such as Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. At least one government school should be open in every district. Affiliated private schools should be given grant in aid. The Indian natives should be given training in their mother tongue also, not only in the English but also in mother tongue also. What are the advantages of Wood's dispatch for the British in India? Means benefit of Wood's dispatch for the Britishers. This dispatch stated that the learning English will be an advantage to the Indians for the trade and commerce also. How? Because they were introducing, with the education, they were introducing the European way of life, which would change the taste and the desire and create a new kind of demand for the British goods among the Indians. European learning would improve the moral character of Indians. It would make them truthful and honest and thus supply the company with the civil servants. The main motive or the sole motive of Wood Dispatch is to create a new class which could supply the company with the civil servants. In accordance with the Wood Dispatch, education department were set up in every province and universities were opened at Calcutta, Bombay and Madras in 1857 and in Punjab in 1882 and in Allahabad in 1887. These attempts were also made to bring about changes within the system of school education also, not only the higher education but also the school education. These are the pictures of these universities which were set up by the Britishers to promote the higher education in India: Bombay University, Calcutta University, Madras University and Allahabad University. William Carey. William Carey was a British missionary, a particular Baptist minister, a translator, and an activist. He also opened the first university in Serampore, offering degrees. He is known as the father of modern mission. William Adams. William Adams, known in Japanese as Maura Engine, was an English navigator who in 1600 was the first of his nation to reach Japan. He was born in September 24, 1564, and he died in May 1620. He also produced a report which is known as the William Adams Report. William Adams Report gave an insight into the education system that was prevalent in India before the British established political power in India. Means his report was telling what type of education system was present in India before the arrival of the Britishers. The British East India Company had asked William Adam, a Scottish missionary, to provide the report of the state of local schools in Bengal and Bihar. That is why he toured the two states extensively in 1830 and presented a report. What was that report? Over 1 lakh pathshalas were existed in Bengal and Bihar. And in the old system of pathshala, each pathshala has at least 20 students. The total number of children were being taught in these pathshalas were over 20 lakhs. These pathshalas were set up by the wealthy people or by the local community, and some of the pathshalas were also started by the guru or by the teacher. The system of education was very flexible. There was no fixed fees, there was no printed textbooks, no separate school building, no curriculum, no class division, no benches, no blackboards, nothing was there. And even they don't have the attendance register also. There was no annual examination and no regular timetable. During the harvest season, the school remained closed. And sometimes they don't have their own places, they don't have their own building, so the school or the classes were going on under a banyan tree and in some other corners of a village shop or the temple, or sometimes at the guru's home. Fee dependent on was on the income of the parents. The rich had to pay more than the poor, and the teaching was basically oral. And guru decide what to teach in accordance with the need of the student. So this system was actually highly criticized by the Britishers. William Adam in his report gave this information that India had the flexible system of education which is suited to the local needs. Classes were not held during the harvest time. When the rural children were worked in the fields, the pathshalas started once again after the cropping season. New routines and new rules. So in the beginning of the 19th century, the company was concerned primarily with the higher education. Local pathshalas functioned as usual. After 1854, the company decided to improve the system of vernacular education. Vernacular education means the local languages. Rules were imposed, routines were established, regular inspections were held, changes that were introduced in the pathshala. Suppose if I ask the question, what changes were introduced after 1854, so you are supposed to tell these changes were introduced. Government Pandits were appointed. Each Pandit was in charge of 4 or 5 schools. The Pandit visited the Pathshalas and tried to improve the standard of teaching. Each Guru and teacher in the Pathshala asked to submit the periodic reports and take classes according to the regular timetable. Teaching was now to be based on textbook and learning was to be tested through a system of annual examination. Students were asked to pay a regular fees and attend regular classes, sit on fixed seats and obey the new rules of discipline. Pathshalas which accepted the new rules were supported through government grants, and those who were not willing to work under the new system, they did not get or they did not receive any governmental support. So what were the consequences of the changes that were introduced? Pathshalas that wanted to retain their old method of teaching found it difficult to compete with the Pathshalas that changed and received the government grant, because in the absence of money, no school could be easily run. Peasants, children, and those who were able to study in the old Pathshalas because of flexible timetable found it difficult to attend the new school. The agenda for a national education. What was the agenda set by the Britishers for a national education? From the early 19th century, many Indian scholars also felt the need development in the field of education. Some Indians felt that the Western education would help in modernizing the India. They urged that the British to open more and more school and colleges, universities, and spend more money on education. And here, what was the reaction of the India? What was the reaction of the great leaders of India? Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore were against this Western education. So, what was the Gandhiji's views about education? Gandhiji felt that the colonial education created a sense of inferiority in the minds of the Indians. It made them see Western civilization as superior and destroy the pride they had in their own culture. Indians educated in these institutions welcomed everything that they came from when they came from West and started admiring British rule. Mahatma Gandhi was keen to open the education system that could help the Indians to recover their sense of dignity and self respect. He was in favor of giving self respect to the Indians. He motivated the students to leave education centers established by the British to show them that they did not want to be enslaved. Means in education systems में पढ़ करके हम गुलाम नहीं बनना चाहते हैं. Mahatma Gandhi wanted one's mother tongue to be medium of teaching because child can easily understand in the mother tongue. Gandhiji felt that English education made Indians a stranger in their own hands. He felt that the Western education was more textual than practical. Education, according to Mahatma Gandhi, was not for knowing how to read and write. It was for developing one's mind and soul. And he felt that the children had to learn to work with their hands and know how different things operated and also learn some craft which would help them in future, because this would help their mind this would help in developing their mind and their capacity to understand the things in the better way. As a nationalist movement gathered momentum, many leaders start thinking about the Mahatma Gandhi's view on education. They realized that the need for a system of national education which would be totally different from the Western education. Another more was the Rabindranath Tagore, who was criticizing the British system of education. He set up the Shanti Niketan in Calcutta. That is why his classrooms were under the Shanti Niketan. Rabindranath Tagore started an open air school there. The children used to study in the labs or in touch of the natural environment in open under the trees, which would bring these students very, very close to the nature. After Tagore received the Nobel Prize in 1913 for literature for his book Gitanjali. Here the question is asked, when did Rabindranath Tagore receive the Nobel Prize for literature? For which book? The school was expanded into university named as Vishwa Bharati. Later on, this Shanti Niketan got the name Vishwa Bharati as a university. So what was Tagore's idea of education? Tagore felt that childhood ought to be time of self-learning, Today, Vishwa Bharati is one of the renowned university which attract thousands of students each year. Shanti Niketan is also the tourist attraction because Rabindranath Tagore wrote many of his literary classics here. Even the first women Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi, and the renowned film director Satyajit Ray and the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen are among its most illustrious students. Outside the rigid and restricting discipline of the schooling system set up by the British, teachers had to be imaginative, understand the child, and help the child to develop her curiosity. The natural desire of the child to be creative should be more encouraged. Tagore felt that creative learning could be encouraged only within a natural environment, living in harmony with the nature, because we learn so many things from the nature. So, in the same way, children also could learn and could cultivate their natural creativity. What was the similarity between these two, Gandhiji and Tagore? Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi had the same concept of education. The only difference was Gandhiji was highly critical of the Western civilization and its worship of machine and technology, whereas Tagore wanted to combine element of modern and the Eastern or the best within the Indian tradition. He emphasized the need to be teach science and technology at Shantiniketan along with the art, music and dance. See the pictures of Gandhiji and Tagore, which tell you about the relationship of these two. That is enough that they were close to each other. And as the British brought drastic changes in education system of India, many of the Indian scholars also start thinking that this could be the way of new national educational system could be fashioned according to the way of Rabindranath Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi. Some of them wanted changes within the system set up by the British, and some wanted an alternative system to be created so that the people were educated into a culture that was truly national. Then the debate on national education continued even after the independence also.